Welcome, Marie here in Zone 6, and here's a look at how some things are filling in beginning of April in spring. Coming down the stairs, I have daffodils, allium, tulips, which are kind of blocked by those allium. There's some more tulips. Some of them are actually moved because I wanted to put in these a few of these arborvitae. So tulips had to be moved in order to put those two arborvitae in. There's autumn joy sedum. A peony poking out. That's the red you see. Peony eyes. There's my oak leaf hydrangea to the right. That extension I built last year. Limelights. Sublime smooth hydrangeas. There's a look at the tag. Some allium. You can see the cardboard back there I put down with compost on top. Trying to add some space without plants in it for the eye to rest between the smooth hydrangeas and the limelights. I wanted just a little spot in between where the eye can kind of rest and there's no plants. So I need more compost on there. Here is, by the table I built years ago, the extension I built not that long ago, and the faux shed I built years ago. Here is an arborvitae I dug out of the yard. That was in an area where it really wasn't being enjoyed, so I put it in this container to kind of break up the wood on this table since the table is so large. 3 containers ready for planting in the future. And I cleared a lot out of my faux shed. A lot of the containers in there, water was, when it would rain, water would kind of set on them, and then it was just a place for mosquitoes to lay eggs. So I wanted to clear a lot of that out. So what I did is I put some August moon hostas I dug out of the yard. I put them in those containers. There were 2. I split one and kept one intact, so that made 3. So they're in those containers. You can see the eyes coming out. So exciting. There's that weed or bush I chopped down to let more light back here. Back here, I planted a climbing hydrangea. I wanted to go up that fence. That's what I decided. I wanted over here was that climbing hydrangea to go up that way. And plus, I noticed that in the photograph of the climbing hydrangea in the winter, it has brown stems. And so I wanted to put it somewhere where the stems kind of blended in. I wouldn't want to put it on like my garage where it's white and, those brown stems would be showing in the winter. So they'll be camouflaged kind of by that fencing. Over here, there's some autumn joy sedum in a container. That's at Annabelle. I pruned back. And I've put some fabric over my bloom structs because we're supposed to get really cold soon at night, and they're starting to open, and I don't want the buds to get damaged. So I'm hoping that helps. There are my crocus roses. Firelight. And look at these daffodils. Beautiful. They've been here for years. And they come back faithfully. Just lovely. Here's another view. Ooh la la. Heading to this side of the deck, I put a light pink rose right there to kind of soften the corner of the deck. And here's the daffodil I like to call Old Faithful. It comes back every year over here. Love it. Those boxwoods I put in on either side of the steps and in those containers up on the deck, I'm really liking to add some year-round interest. And look at these daffodils. I moved these. I dug these up not that long ago before they even had the bud heads showing. And it seems like they were really happy with the move. So don't be afraid. You can move daffodils. There's a peony. And tulips, because actually, over on this side, over by the garage, I moved some of these tulips in order to put this sublime in. So I wanted to put the sublime in here. That's a little, what is it, limelight prime back there. So I dug up and moved some of those tulips back there to make room, and also a roseanne geranium. I'm really going for more evergreens. I've added a lot of evergreens back here. Starting last year, I've really increased in adding these evergreens because I want year-round beauty, and that's what evergreens provide. And also, they're good foundation plants. They're substantial, which can make a yard look mature and substantial. These are Golden Globe arborvitae. There's the tog. I still have some tags to take off, but no rush. There's a scan. Coming this way. I put in this chartreuse on the loose. Was it maybe last December? So exciting. I'll see how it does. Here's my hibiscus. And if you're worried about your hibiscus, they're like one of the last ones to grow. They like the heat. But you can dig by the base and look for green if you're worried. And if you see green, it's alive. Some tulips that come back every year. I think those are Van Eyck, Darwin Van Eycks. Just gorgeous. Headed back this way. Little Quickfire. Penstemon I love so. There's some Walker's Low. And my New Dawn Rose has gotten stems long enough where I was able to attach them going this way. I got poked, but it was worth the pain to get them attached. So it'll be so exciting to see if I get some blooms over that way near the mirror I put up years ago. Some tulips I planted last December. Lots of hydrangeas. And let's see. What do we have back here? Yep, lots of hydrangeas again. Allium. More tulips I planted in December. More penstemon. I try to do repetition. So there's penstemon in this bed, burgundy, as well as the bed. I'll give you a view this way. As well as the bed over here. There's penstemon right there and down yonder near the deck. And that turquoise you see is, I've wrapped my endless summers. We're supposed to get some really cold nights and they're starting to open. And so I wrapped them with some fabric that I'd actually bought for sewing to give them some protection. I'll probably take it off this Friday when the nights get warmer. Look at those allium. So exciting. This is what roseanne geranium looks like when it starts to grow. Just so you know, my Gatsby pink oak leaf, and back in the hidden garden, my welcome sign I think is almost straight. Almost. Have my Annabelle, my limelight back here, my Gatsby pink, anise hyssop, and lots of sum and substance. Below the deck, in this middle area, I dug out this area and planted 2 Annabelles. So I'm excited about those, as well as those arborvitae I put in. So I can have interest all year round. The arborvitae all year round. The autumn joy sedum looks good spring into fall. The tulips and allium look good in the spring. So I have spring, and as far as summer, the annabelle should look good in the summer. So I have spring, summer, winter, and fall interest. At the entrance to the back garden, which is the west garden, there is that iceberg, those iceberg roses I planted there, and there's one down yonder by that arborvitae for repetition. And here is the winter sowing. Look at that. There's lettuce and kale in there. Shasta's in there. Kale in here. Foxglove have germinated inside of there. And this should be alyssum. So exciting. And here are some roses I got recently. Queen Elizabeth. See if I can show you the tag. There's the tag back there. 2 of those for repetition. There's one, which is more advanced than the other, right here. And this rose is called Della Reese. So I'll see how those do. I put them in containers just for right now. In the east garden, which is the front garden, some of my daffodils I planted years ago are starting to bloom. And those tulips I planted last year at the entrance have come up. I have these little fences here because I'm trying to make sure that the male person and my husband don't step on my tulips. That would not be a ooh la la. And here are some more daffodils. So exciting. My limelights, Incrediballs, have been pruned back up front. Back in the west garden, here's a quick scan. Soon you'll hardly be able to see my neighbors back there, my neighbor's house, because those that brush will fill in pretty good. Thanks for watching, and consider subscribing if you haven't.